What's the half sound the house guy yeast that's beats? This the molten hour where we talk about our drink and tell you what we think every other week. And if we get drunk, well, we might slur our speech. Got the gift of gab, the friends you wish you had. Join us for a drink, join us for a laugh. Time is never wasted, where you getting wasted. The molten hour here, people take your places. People take your places. People take your home.
I really like how there's instructions in that song where it's a show's friend. He's had music on this show. It's our theme song, so he's a friend. He gives everyone the instructions to have a seat, and I think you should all have a seat as we're sitting here. Welcome to the Malting Hour. I am one of the hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Whittinger.
Ooh, that sounded like a game show. I like that. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Malting Hour. Is the theme song just going to keep playing?
It's the entire thing.
Yeah, it's very long.
That's how you end it.
Holy cow. Well, as I said, welcome to the Malting Hour. You know, one day this show will just run without any problems, right?
No.
Yeah, I don't want that. Welcome, everybody. This week, Brandon and I, we both took separate trips very carefully. Brandon, you went to go see your in-laws, and where'd you go see your in-laws? Where did they stay again?
We were in the state of Missouri.
See, I was right. So I was trying to figure. I'm sorry, everybody. I've got something in my throat. Hold on 1 second. Editor's note.
Tony has something in his throat.
About $1 for every time that happened.
Hey,
yeah, I was trying to tell Laura where you guys were at, and I'm like, I think they're in Missouri, or they're in Kansas. Either one. I don't know. I'm not sure where they're at.
Well, very close to Kansas, though.
Yeah, no, I know that. So that's what I ended up telling her. I'm like, it's one of the two. They're not far apart. And I took a short trip up to Michigan with Clark, fan favorite Clark Fetridge. We went up there and very safe. We sat on some patios, outside stuff, social distancing, and then we were at his family's home. So we drank a whole bunch of beers there. So we thought it'd be, since we're now in October, we thought, summer's done. It's officially done. Considering we already did a pumpkin beer episode, but it's officially done. We thought it'd be fun to talk about our trips and we grabbed some beers, right? You grabbed some beers, I grabbed some beers. We're gonna drink these beers. We're not sharing the same beers. We just happen to have beers from our trips.
Correct.
But we're doing something special first. We've done this before. In fact, I just listened to the old Halloween episode. We drank the Almond Joy beer on it.
Ah, yes.
Last year's Halloween beer that we brewed together, which, man, kind of wish I still had some. Not that I want to drink it all the time, but I remember it being very good. It turned out great, and apparently we all thought it was good on the show.
No, I liked it.
But you got a chance to brew a beer, man.
I did.
What did you brew? Tell us all about it, baby.
So before I went off on vacation, actually the day before I went, I ended up brewing an Oktoberfest. So the grains that I used, basically, I kind of searched around looking to see what like Hofbrau uses for their Oktoberfest. And then I found a couple of other
It's a good choice.
recipes online and just kind of switched some of the malt a little bit and ended up with something that I think turned out decent. And this is the first beer that I've actually brewed that I've nailed all my numbers 100%. So, the OG was maybe a little bit off, but Final Gravity hit perfectly. So I was pleased with that.
What is the alcohol of the alcohol? What is the alcohol of this? What's the ABV of this beer?
How drunk is this beer? It is, I think, 6.9.
Wow, that's pretty good for an Oktoberfest. So I poured myself a glass right before we started. And by the way, great job on the burst carbonation. You did it perfectly. It is fully carbonated. And I took the first smell that I have from it. It was funny because while you were gone, I was watching your cats. I don't know if you knew that. Aggie did ask me to come take care of them while you were gone. From this very, very long note. It was very nice. And you had me check on your beer. And it was funny when I opened up your office where you're fermenting your beer. It was very like in your face, holy cow, a beer is fermenting in here. And I was like, whoa, okay, so that's just chugging along. The first smell that I got from this beer was kind of like that, like yeasty, and not in a bad way, in a very good way. Like, oh, okay, like, Oktoberfest beers normally don't smell like that. And now that I'm smelling it again, it just smells like a good Oktoberfest beer. And I'll be honest, Brandon. So when I took the sip, I I took a sip, I put it down, and I went, holy shit, Brandon, dude, this is fucking delicious. This is really, really good. And I sound like I'm shocked, like, I can't believe you did this. But honestly, like, dude, this is something that I feel like you should make every Oktoberfest. I will go in on it with you, brew it for me, give me a gallon keg of it, whatever. I'm happy that I've got a full freaking growler of this. This is delicious, man. It's sweet. And you didn't even lager it, and it doesn't taste that way. It has that it's very clean tasting, but it's sweet. It's everything that and malty. It's everything that I want from an Oktoberfest beer. And man, I couldn't be prouder of you. This is fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with how it turned out. The only issue I'm having with it is for some reason, like, it's just really heady coming off the tap. So I got to kind of pour it slow. And I've raised the temperature in the kegerator. I even lowered the PSI. So my serving pressure on this, I've got it at like 8.
You could probably, I mean, if you want, you could release pressure, like purge the keg, like take it off the gas, purge the keg, maybe even drop it down to like 5 or 6 psi. It also could be how warm your hose is, but you've poured beer off there before and it hasn't been very heady. So maybe just try releasing
this
some
is
pressure.
also the new kegerator, or the new dual tap, and the dual tap line is insulated, so
oh yeah, so that shouldn't be a problem.
it shouldn't be.
Hey guys, it's me, Clark. It's Clark.
Whoa.
Clark's here.
You are coming in also very loud. I need you to back up from whatever microphone you're using.
I wanted you to know I was here.
What are you doing?
Oh, you didn't know I was here?
No. It's
what the fuck?
I'm sorry. I should have told you I was gonna hack into the.
Why is there the dramatic music playing?
It's now time for Clark's interlude with Clark. I want to offer those exact sentiments that Tony offered about Brandon's new beer. I think it's delicious, yeasty and sweet. Hey guys, how are you?
Hi, Clark. Welcome. So here's the thing, everybody. We fooled you. We knew Clark was actually going to be here. I just thought it would be funny if he jumped on in. Clark was kind enough on the last show to jump in and give us factoids and kind of help out with the show. And we thought it'd be fun if there was a chance that he's available, that he does it. We're not going to talk to him all the time. In fact, I'm going to make it a point to forget he's there until he jumps in, just like he did.
Yeah, I had so many things to say. You were talking about the delicious beer Brandon made, which I agree with, and you were talking about kegerators.
Well, actually, yeah, you can
and kegerators. So I got some questions for Brandon too. But the beer, I agree with everything you said, Tony. On the nose, beautiful, yeasty, a little sweet, great mouthfeel, everything.
I'm gonna have a hard time not drinking this all tonight, which is terrible because I'm a manager tomorrow. It's so good, Brandon. It is really awesome, buddy.
Thanks, man. Yeah, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. Not that I was worried, because the day actually went smoothly. Everything kind of went as planned. So
with that sweet ass wort chiller that you got,
hell yeah, dude. Thank you, Cold Break. The wort chiller was awesome. And then the new setup I got, I just felt better, like having the way my water's set up coming in off the hose. I bought the connections to actually run it straight into the kettle instead of pouring it over the side. And so all of it kind of, I had my lines set up. So everything kind of went as smoothly as possible. And I didn't drink until it was done. So it was good. I did not do something stupid.
I was to say, that's Mike's golden rule for when it comes to brewing. You got to wait until you're to the boil, at least, to have your first beer. I now wait until I'm ending the mash to have my first beer.
Yeah.
Especially when I have an easy hop schedule.
Yeah. And I think for this, I didn't crack a beer until I was halfway through the boil, because that was my last addition. And then I was just whatever. Cracked open one of the pumpkin beers that I had left over that I bought from that Mix 6. So after that, it was smooth sailing. and it was, I was efficient. I cleaned up as I went, so like by the time I was done, really all I had to clean out was the kettle. So
it's kind of nice to do a brew day on your own. Not that I don't enjoy brewing with friends. I do actually. I miss brewing, especially with both you guys, because you guys are the two that I brew with the most, other than Myke. But it is kind of nice when you're brewing on your own. You have that opportunity to just kind of be there and be like, okay, well, I can clean this up and make sure it makes the brew day so much more efficient.
totally.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Clark, you're still there, correct?
Yes, I'm here.
So you also have a new kegerator, and do you have a dual tap on that one as well?
Yep.
So
dual tap.
Do you have any issues with the head? Too much head on a beer, or have you had any?
The only time I've had issues was right in the middle of the summer, and it was really hot. I think something with the humidity kind of messed that up. But lately, the two kegs I have connected right now are behaving very well. But there have been some that I have had issues with.
Okay, so maybe
I've learned. Yeah, I mean, as you guys probably know, and as some of our listeners know, I think apparently long lines, and apparently it can take a couple days or up to a week for the keg to get conditioned, as I've read, which I don't necessarily believe, but
don't believe what you see on the internet. It's not always.
Yeah, but I've noticed with my kegerator and real tap that I can boost up the PSI and the CO2 to close to 10, and it behaves much better. When I was just pouring from a homebrew keg with a tap handle, or what's the word? Picnic tap? Is that the word?
Yep.
Picnic tap? I had to have it down to like 3 or 4. So it's interesting.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
No rhyme or reason.
The old tap, the single tap I had on here, again, like really no different setup. Although actually, if I look at the single tap, that one doesn't even look like it was insulated. So I don't know. That one I never really had.
On mine.
Yeah, I never really had too bad of an issue with that one. I originally had thought, like, because I force carbed it and I was shaking the beer up. I had shaken it up yesterday morning, and then I dropped the PSI on it, and then I did a release, and then I let it sit for like 2 hours maybe, and then I went to pour some off, and it was still kind of foamy. I was like, oh, maybe I just shook it up too much. And then I dropped. That's when because I had it initially at about like 10 psi. I dropped it down to 7. Still coming out a little foamy. I turned the temperature up on the kegerator, make it a little colder in there, see if that makes a difference. But I don't know. Like, I haven't run into the issue before, so yeah. Just
what temperature do you have it at?
I don't know what the temp in there is. Like 6.
It's free. It's gonna freeze, man.
Yeah. And it's not good.
Dangerous.
No, I mean that's what it was. That's what it's been at before. So,
it's 6.
No, 6. The dial.
You were being serious. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing you did, Clark. I thought you're being sarcastic, Brandon.
Degrees,
like 6 degrees. Like, ooh, that's a problem.
No, I don't know what the actual temperature is in there, but like on the dial.
That would help.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe grab your Inkbird and throw it in there and see if you can get a temperature reading. What's in there, and then mess around with the dial. Maybe it's just a little too warm.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Just warm enough.
And quick question for Brandon before we move on from the kegerator talk. On the last after the final pour, you mentioned you got a keg from Revolution of Freedom of Speech, or one of the freedoms.
Yep. Yeah. Freedom of Speech.
How did that work out? How long did you have that in there? Because I just bought a 6th barrel of Anti-Hero, and I've never had a commercial.
Very jealous.
Like 2 weeks. We went through it really quick because
2 weeks isn't it? You drank it that fast?
Oh yeah.
I'm because I assume mine will be in there for at least a month. I just don't want it to get bad.
Yeah.
So your recommendation is just drink it as quick as possible.
I think you guys are both safe with those type of kegs. Yeah. I think you're both safe. You think about like restaurants and bars that have bigger kegs that are on tap, and some beers sit there for a while, and I'd say a month is probably pretty good for what you can go for, Clark, especially with Anti-Hero.
What did they charge? Did you say you got a sixtel?
Yeah.
What did they charge you for that one?
I think it was $80
plus the $50 deposit.
Plus the deposit.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's what the freedom of speech was too. Yeah, that was awesome. I'm glad I did that. When I'm done self-quarantining again, I may swing over, try out Half Acre this time and see if I can get something.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw some barrel of a Hop Butcher beer the other day. I'm like, ooh, boy, that would be
in a keg.
A problem to have. Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, we can talk off mic here, but I'd be happy.
Exactly.
Maybe all three of us can go in on that and just fill up some growlers or whatever. I don't care.
Perfect.
That sounds awesome.
That's the other thing I still need to do with the kegerator thing is drilling another hole for the gas line. Because I had been keeping my regulator inside because I only had a single tap, so it wasn't that big of an issue. But I've got a dual regulator, and then like literally trying to fit 2 kegs and the regulator in there it's like a pain in the ass. So I moved it back to the outside and ran the line in, and I bought off of Amazon. I bought some more line, and it came with like the quick disconnect hoses and everything like that. So I'm going to drill. I don't know. I have a circular bit, and I'm going to drill the smallest hole that I can, just enough to get the line through there. See what happens. So
cool.
But I am fucking psyched that I got. So I also ended up buying quick disconnects for the beer lines too.
Good idea.
Yeah. So I was so happy I got those, and it was just I switched out, or I put them on the new beer line that's not taken yet. And then I think when this keg's finished, I'll pull that line off and I'll switch that one to a quick disconnect.
Yeah, I need to do some house cleaning with my kegerator here because there's 2 lines that I've not used. And I think it's time that I've not used them maybe in months, and I haven't even looked at them, but I think it's time I swap those out, get some new lines, and clean my current lines that I'm running some beer through because I'm about to brew some more beer and officially try my hand at a hard seltzer. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I think we talked. Man, I don't even know where we talk about things anymore. I don't know if it's the show or when we're just texting or whatever. But the 3 of us have not in the same text group, but separately decided that because of how the pumpkin beer episode went, we're going to brew some pumpkin beers. Brandon, you and I are going to brew the same beer. And Clark, you had mentioned doing your Mr. Rumpkin. Is that right? Correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
If you guys are interested, if we're brewing anytime soon, if it's ready, I feel like we just revisit the whole pumpkin beer thing one more time and talk about the beers that we made because it's what we wanted instead of what we got. Can we get a yay on that, maybe?
Yay!
Yeah,
I'm down.
Yeah. All right. Excellent.
So the one thing interesting I did notice about your beer, so there's no actual pumpkin in the beer.
Correct. I have stressed that on the very first episode that we did the pumpkin beers. And the reason why I know that because, I mean, number one, it's my feeling on it. But number two, I also said this on the first time we did the pumpkin beer. I don't, for me personally, don't see a need to put the pumpkin in it. Clark, I know you do actually use pumpkin in your beer. Me personally, mine is more of a pumpkin. I'm shooting for a pumpkin pie beer this time around, like a pumpkin pie. I'm using flaked oats, a little bit of lactose, and then the seasonings of nutmeg, cinnamon, allspice, and that's it. I've never used pumpkin in a beer. I have no desire to.
So, Clark, does your beer have pumpkin in it?
It does. It has a fair amount, and what I do first is I actually roast it with a bunch of spices to try and at least get something from it I do put it in the mash too. I think it gets more color from that than anything else, but my pumpkin beer is one of the better ones I've made, so I figure I'd just keep up with it.
You do say that it is one of your better home brews, and Brandon, as we were talking earlier today, I say maybe you do something different if you want. Maybe you add pumpkin to the recipe that you and I are going to brew separately, but we're using the same recipe. Maybe you add pumpkin to it.
Yeah, it'd have to be like canned pumpkin or something. That'd probably be the easiest to do.
Isn't that what
that's what I do. That's all I do. Yep.
All right. But anyways.
I thought you said you roasted pumpkin.
He does.
I roast that. So it gets a little caramelized. Yeah.
Fucking smart.
If you go back to that episode, we discussed all of this. If anybody wants to go back, it's October 29th, 2000. 2019 on the 212 Roundtable. We discuss all of this. You should go back because it's October, baby.
But that's a good question.
To that podcast.
When do you throw your pumpkin in? Do you put it in the mash or do you put it?
Yep, I put it in the mash for the whole hour.
Oh, that makes sense.
I call that the malting hour, if you will.
Hey!
Welcome to the Malting Hour. I am your host, Tony, joined always with
Brandon Winninger
and our side guy,
Clark.
All right, so
you're allowed to talk when we throw to you, dude.
Yeah,
Clark.
Yeah, Clark.
Oh,
sorry. All right. Well, now that we've got all that out of the way, Brandon, congratulations on this beer, man. It is very good. I really like it. I would drink this whenever. If this becomes a beer that you decide to brew all the time, count me in. I'd be more than happy to come by and help you drink it. If you are worried about it going bad, when I bring this growler back over, I can bring my own growler and fill it up again because this is something I could definitely drink, dude. Congratulations. This is a very, very, very tasty beer. I'm very happy for you that you got to do another beer that turned out great, as opposed to your last time with the Hefeweizen that did not turn out, and I'm glad you stuck with it. And it's really good, dude.
Yeah, that was just the fucking hose. Fuck that hose.
Fuck them hose.
Or no, the chiller, the fucking wort chiller.
Do you guys know that WAP stands for Wings and Pizza?
Dude, we got to make a rap.
We got
to make a rap about WAP.
Maybe I'll Google that. Here we go. I'm just going to read exactly.
No. We're gonna move on to what this episode is all about.
Well, isn't that what you wanted me here for? To just kind of chime in with various bits of information. So you said WAP. Let me just.
Yeah. Why don't you confirm what WAP means? Because I'm pretty sure it means wings and pizza.
Oh, goo.
Wet ass Pilsner.
Wet ass
right.
Pilsner. That's correct. All right. Now that we've gone through all this, the real reason why we're here tonight is to talk about vacation beers, baby. Brandon, you and I have done this before, but the last time, we were together and we were able to share some beers together. This time it's a little different. We're going to drink some beers separately and talk about them. All right. Anyways, so Brandon, do you want to go first? You want me to go first? And technically, Clark, even though you're the side guy, you're our side piece.
Side chick.
You're our side chick when it comes to this show. You and I did this trip together, so technically, I guess you're a guest on this one. It just kind of feels appropriate that maybe you kind of should be. But, you'll be able to fact check things I'm talking about, that's for sure. But also be able to, bring up things that Brandon might miss.
Oh, I'm going to.
Ooh, jeez. All right. Brandon, would you like to go first?
Sure. Go first? So the first one, I have not opened it yet. I'm opening it now. I got this one. It's a local area brew from the Kansas City area.
KC, what?
It is called the Mad Scientist Experimental Series number 4 from, looks like Wichita Brewing Company in Wichita, Kansas. It is a New England style double India pale ale.
Ooh.
And it says double IPA DDH with Lotus and Sultana hops. But
I'm not familiar with drinking either one of those hops. Maybe Lotus. Would you say Santana was the other one?
Yeah, Carlos Santana. Sultana hops.
Oh, Sultana. I don't know that hop. That's for sure.
Oh, it is very heady.
Nothing like a good heady beer. This is weird to do it this way.
Yeah. It says they leave the beer unfiltered.
It's an unfiltered beer?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if there's any interesting facts on the side of the can.
Yes, that's important.
It says keep cold, drink fresh. That's an interesting fact. That is literally all it says, except for the government warning.
Oh.
No fun stories to read. Interesting looking can, though. As far as the color goes, from what I can see on top of all this fucking head.
So angry about the head.
Yeah, dude, pissing me off. I've been dealing with.
No, there's a picture on Untapped here where it's got like a 4-inch head in the glass. I see what he's saying.
Yeah, so it might be intentional, but it's definitely hazy.
What's that aroma, baby?
Again, so that's got to be. I don't know if I've ever smelt or, like you said, like dealt with Lotus or Sultana, because this is not like a hop smell that I can tell it's hops, but it's totally different than anything I've smelt before.
I like that you're using smelt like the word, like the fish smelt.
Yeah.
I didn't even smell.
Well, and then he said dealt about half a second later.
Yes.
I've never smelt and dealt with this before.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe you're just making a rhyme all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, sometimes the Chicago comes out. What do you want?
Hey, I smelt that. Don't worry about. Oh, that's more New York. Sorry.
Yeah, half these pictures on Untapped have huge amounts of head. It's interesting.
So, interesting side note about your Chicago accent turned New York accent. It was on Amazon Video, I think. There's a Jim Gaffigan special that was on there, and he was in Canada, and he kept doing Canadian accents, and they all sound like New Yorkers. And he kept doing. He's like, this guy doesn't even know what a Canadian is. He's never met a Canadian before. We don't sound like that. And I was like, man, yeah. I love Jim Gaffigan. But yeah, so Aroma is awesome. Again, like nothing I've,
nothing you can compare it to, like fruity, piney, anything.
Oh, it's definitely fruity. Okay. It's fruity, not so much piney. I can smell the sugar. Like there's a strong maltiness that's like coming through.
This sounds like my cup of tea or cup of brew.
Yeah, same thing. So as far as New England IPAs go, it tastes like other New England IPAs that I've had that haven't been made in New England. You can definitely tell they're attempting it. It just tastes like a really solid double IPA. Light on the mouthfeel, not like super creamy.
Did you get this from the brewery or from a shop?
I got this from the shop. Like I did a mix 6 out there.
Ooh, this guy's smart, man.
Yep. Yeah, because I told you the story. So we were trying to go to a brewery that is in their hometown called Angry Swede Brewing Company.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And it's in an old bank. So like they still make use of the vault. The basement of the bank actually in the 1920s was a speakeasy, and they've got that like still set up down there. So I was super excited to check it out. We never got a chance to, so something to look forward to next time we go down there.
Yeah, when you're describing that place to me, it sounded super cool. Would like to have gone, or maybe go one day. Maybe we'll go together and drink with your father-in-law, who's a very cool guy.
Yeah, dude. And then he can take us flying.
Cool. Laura would love if I did that with you guys.
After going to a brewery. Hey, we went to a brewery. Now we're going to go flying.
Now we're going to fly. Well, that's cool. That's so it's funny that that's what you went with, because the first beer that I'm going to do here is Full Turbo, batch number 4, double IPA, 8% alcohol,
awesome.
Volume 1 pint from Transient Artisan Ale. So as I was saying, Clark and I made a trip up there. Clark's family has a home up there, so if you guys want to go bother Clark, if he ever pisses you off while you're listening to him on the show, go find him in Michigan. I'm telling you what. But Clark and I decided to make a whole day of it, and actually I'm currently piecing together a little bit of video that we took while we were up there doing some beer reviews. At one point, Clark and I get into a fight, which is very early on. We missed out on 2 of the breweries that we wanted to go to, but Transient was probably, Clark, would you say one of the better stops?
I'd say it was one of the better stops. The more one of the breweries that had the more interesting options for us, at least. Now, and it's been a go-to for us. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to chime in and say, where exactly is Transient for those that don't know?
Transient is in Bridgman, Michigan, just between New Buffalo and St. Joe.
Very quaint little town where Tapestry Brewing is over there, and Greenbush isn't far away, correct? Or am I?
Yeah, Greenbush is just a couple minutes down the road, actually.
Yeah, I've been to Tapestry.
A couple minutes up the road. Yeah.
Yeah, that day the weather was great, and when we went there, we tried, if I'm not mistaken, 2 Imperial Stouts a piece. Ooh. And something hazy, maybe. I could be confused. That point of the day, it was a lot.
You're right. No, I definitely had 2.
I think we just had 2 stouts. We just had 2 stouts.
Yeah, it looks like I had Bark Lord, and that Peso and Sam. One had cinnamon that we both liked.
Yes, was it that Barklord?
Barklord, yeah.
Yeah. So they had a whole bunch of random bottles for sale, and my neighbor Jeff, as we all know, fan favorite as well, just like Clark. His daughter Christina always gives me beers from New Glarus, so I decided to pay it forward, and I bought a beer that was which I found out is a Berliner Weiss. It is it's on there. It just says sour wheat ale with Michigan cherries, and I tried that last Sunday, and it was also very good. But this one. This was the beer that we brought back. It is a hazy New England IPA, a double IPA, but it's this is a New England IPA for sure. It smells great. Kind of smells like candy fruit, almost like not bubble gum, but I don't know. There's like a sweetness to it, and it's not like super citrusy, I guess is what I kind of expect from these New England IPAs. Now, I'll say this. I've already taken a sip when you guys were talking, or while Clark was answering for me about transient. My first impression of this beer when I first had it, I wasn't super stoked about it. In fact, I think my Untapped check-in wasn't all that great, to be honest. I think I was just kind of like, meh, I don't think this is worth $18 or however much we paid for it. Sorry, transient. I do like what you do, but I guess I was just having an off night. Right now,
was this the 4-pack you were telling me about?
Yes.
Okay.
Drinking it now, it's very light. It's kind of crisp, and I think Clark, when you checked it in, you said it kind of reminded you of like a lager.
And yeah, I wrote that. I said it was nice, and then I wrote "and creamy?" ? And then I said lager or Kolsch yeast finish at the end. It's like a lot of things going on that don't really work together. It wasn't bad by any means, but I just wasn't a huge fan of it.
Yeah, and I felt the same way. I was kind of underwhelmed, and maybe it's because I'm drinking this after we had the Oktoberfest, but I like it a lot more now. It's that creaminess is there. I think it's very refreshing. It's kind of like this candied fruit New England IPA double. For it being 8%, that blows my mind because it does have that Kolsch lagery finish to it. So I feel like I was a little too harsh on the first time I had it, so I'm going to go back and check this in tonight and update it to a little bit higher. I haven't. I think when I checked it in, I didn't even give it a low rating. Did I give it a low rating?
You didn't. I don't see a check-in from you.
Oh boy, then I'm safe, baby, because I'm going to give this a great check-in tonight.
Fantastic.
Yeah, out of all the breweries I went to, Transient was the most satisfying, I feel like, because it was right before we went to your family's home and hung out and flew a drone for a little bit. I mean, who doesn't want to fly a drone like a little kid? Before we went to Watermark, which is
I do
my second beer. But yeah, this is Brandon. I think you'd like this beer. I having it now. Clark, do you still have a can of this left?
No, I finished both of them actually. And honestly, the second time I had it, I sort of had the same feel. It was fine, perfectly good. I'd drink it again, just nothing. As you said, not worth the price point.
Yeah, I would have it if it was on tap, and I feel like that's it. On tap, not untapped. Can't even talk.
It's no Juices Loose, which is their heyo.
Yeah, we stopped at, what was it? How many breweries total? 4? 3.
Yes.
4?
Well, we stopped or went in?
Went into. We actually drank at 3 breweries.
Oh, so Burnham Brewing in Michigan City.
4. Yeah, there we go.
Then we tried to go to Beer Church in New Buffalo, too crowded. Then we tried to go to Ghost Isle.
I've been there
in New Buffalo, too crowded.
Yeah.
So we hopped on over to a big farm, a new place called River St. Joe, which is kind of a farm to table type place. Really neat location.
Great outside sitting. Yeah, the interesting beers. Think we may have been served the wrong beers at one point, but then we think maybe we weren't. But if you want a $25 hanger steak, that seems like the place to go out there. The place is very cool. I'm only knocking it because I didn't get a steak, which I probably would totally paid $25 for that steak.
Next time.
Yeah. And then we ended up Transient and then Watermark. Oof. and I'll tell this story once I get to that beer because we're going to take a break here in a second. But Watermark is really kind of becoming my favorite Michigan brewery.
Ooh.
Me too.
Yeah, it
gets better and better.
And it's funny because the story that you told me, because you joined the Mug Club when they were opening, and I remember the first time you went, you were like, not that great. And then every time after that, every time I've been there or you've been there, the beers are just on point, very good, and the spot's very nice. But we'll get into that when we return from this break. Can we go to break? Right? Sorry, I'm jumping gun here. We're gonna take a break, right?
The interlude into the break.
It sounds so sad.
And now, rhyming time with Jeff Jargonal.
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. You do it.
My turn. Turn. Whoa.
Yes! Oh, man! I just listened to this song the other day.
I just want to keep listening.
What is this?
This is Ween. You
Push
remember
Little
this from the
Daisies?
90s? Yeah.
No.
What?
Wait for the chorus. Maybe it's like it was famous because of Beavis and Butthead.
Yep.
Well, wait for the chorus.
By the user of your love. Good enough.
Anything, Clark?
No, nothing.
Wow.
Sorry.
Sometimes I know, and sometimes I'm on the go, but I'm coming back, so don't give me no flack, yeah, it's all you, it's me too, it's your world, you're the girl, after this shit, things that might go click with me, click with you. Is that love? Is that love? Oh, push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Watch the little daisy grow, little daisies grow. I just push the little daisies and make them come up. You watch them grow as I push the little daisies and make them come up, make them come up, make them come up, make them come up. Say, push the little daisies and make them come up. Oh, push the little daisies and make them come up. Oh, push the little daisies and make them come up. Ah, push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Say, push the little daisies and make them come up. Say, push the little daisies and make them come up.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Ooh, is that Back to the Future?
Which can only mean one thing.
I don't know.
That means it's Ghost Cookie season.
And we're back.
That's what that means.
I like ghost cookies.
Oh, yeah, those ghost cookies. Oh, okay, Clark. As our side piece, you're in charge of getting us ghost cookies for the next episode.
Yeah, so what's the Ghost Cookie episode? What kind of beers do we drink with that?
You know what? That's just the Halloween episode. That's when we do our pumpkin beers, and we have ghost cookies, too.
Perfect.
Becca is planning. So my mom used to make witch finger cookies. So it's basically like an almond cookie, and then like the fingernail is like an almond sliver, and my mom would dip it in like raspberry jelly.
So didn't Becca make those for the Halloween?
She did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she planned on making she wants to do a whole bunch this year to give to people. So
I'll take some. I will for sure take some. I think by the time, if you guys are comfortable, as we share this with the whole world right now, as 5 people in Russia have listened to this show, maybe they listen to current shows, maybe they're current listeners. I don't know. I feel like maybe the pumpkin beers that we brew, we might actually be able to get together in one place and drink them together. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what we're going to do, but it's a possibility. And then maybe we have some ghost cookies and finger cookies as well.
Yeah, we can definitely give it a shot. Great. Plan towards that, at least.
That is the plan. Yep. Welcome back to the Malting Hour. If you're listening to only the second half, well, go back and listen to the first half, because we did a whole lot of talking there and some drinking at that point. Just some highlights. Clark showed up. We drank Brandon's Oktoberfest. We drank Brandon drank a beer that he got from Kansas City, New England IPA, and I drank a beer from Michigan, Transients. What did I get? Full turbo. The can's turned. Yeah, the can's turned. Full turbo. So we're talking about vacation beers as summer has now ended and we are officially in fall here in Chicago. It is tonight. We have a frost warning. I don't know if you guys know that it's going to be pretty cold.
No,
it's going to get real cold, and I don't think my jalapenos are going to survive. Anyways, moving on. Let's go back to you, Brandon. What else did you grab while you were out there? Actually, before we do that, was there anything you were looking for specifically while you're out there, or were you just like, here are some beers that I don't know of, and I don't recognize, and this is what I'm going to grab from a mix 6?
That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was specifically looking for things that I haven't had, but I was kind of going with styles that I'm familiar with. So the New England IPA was one. The next one that I actually have here is an oatmeal stout.
Ooh, man. So side note, I have recently bought, actually I should say, I helped my dad out this week, and he's like, let me buy you something. And I said, no, Dad, I don't need any food. We were going to the grocery store. He's like, well, let me get you some shrimp. And I said, no, Dad, I've got a ton of food at home. He said, let me get you a 6-pack. And I said, no problem. So I got an oatmeal stout. I got, the Poet from New Holland, which is an oatmeal stout. And I absolutely love that. But
I love that beer too.
Yeah,
I just think it's funny. You go into the store with your dad and, hey, let me buy you some shrimp.
Yeah, because he was buying shrimp for himself. He's like, the hot bar, they got these really good, fried shrimps.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to be like, hey, here's a bag of frozen shrimp. Thanks for helping me.
That was what I was thinking when he told me. He's like, let me get you some shrimp. I'm like, what is it, on sale? But no, he was actually buying like the cooked shrimp from the hot bar. And I was like, this is
Dad,
weird.
Can't you spring for the crab legs? Come on, man.
As you guys
Raj,
know,
come on.
That's how my dad sounds. Hey, let me get you some shrimp. It's me, Raj, from the Christmas episode. Forget about it. Hey, I'm walking here.
Sounds like he's from New York.
Or Canada.
Fucking Canadians.
Canadians. So what's the...
we don't have any listeners in Canada, so we can say that.
No, we do. We actually do. We do. There was some hits in Canada, man.
Oh, what am I talking about?
Ooh. Tell us about this oatmeal stout that you got.
So this is the free... And it literally is just called oatmeal stout.
That is fantastic. That's like a Myke way of naming beers. That's what Myke does. Myke doesn't like giving names to beers, which I understand. He likes to just name it what it is. Me and you and Clark, we just like to give it some pizzazz,
So actually, and I never told you, the Oktoberfest is actually called Mein Kind, which is my child in German.
Which is great, but in my thoughts, when I hear mine, my first thought goes to
Mein Kampf.
Thanks. In these times,
I'm gonna Google that too. And hold on a second. I'm gonna Google that.
Brandon, just go ahead and talk about the oatmeal stout. We'll let Clark figure that out on his own.
Yeah. So oatmeal stout from Free State Beer. Free State Brewing Company. It says Free State Beer, Free State Brewing Company. There's words. I like words. Free State Brewing Company, established in 1989, is the original craft brewery in the Great Plains region. We continue to enjoy exploring both new and traditional flavors in beers and pairing them with good food, lots of laughter, and lively conversation. # because without beer. what?
Wait, what? Is that how it ends?
It literally, in lively conversations, period. Hashtag because, just hashtag the words because, without beer.
I don't understand that.
I'm lost. I wish we had a guy that would look shit up like that. So I actually, and there's also
if you can look into that, that'd be great. Well,
there's
working on
something.
it.
Yeah, just look up. Maybe just Google hashtag because without beer. So
I can't wait for that to be the regular thing where Clark just goes working on it.
Yeah, because then at one point we can just have that recorded. He doesn't even actually have to talk. We could just play that, and then he can talk when he finds something.
Even easier.
A coffee-like brew, finishing soft and velvety from a rich foundation of oats with subtle vanilla notes. We brew Free State Oatmeal Stout from 7 malts and roasted grains, offering full-bodied flavor. All right.
So you haven't tried this one yet until right now?
I have not.
Mm.
But this thing is like black as night. It is super dark, crazy dark. Holy cow! I'm gonna do the old light test with the phone manometer.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the old light test with the bulb. Clark, did you find anything on what this actually means? Hashtag because?
Nothing yet. Still working on it.
Yeah, so this is it's crazy how dark this is. I'm going to take a picture because like I'm shining the light through it, and it's like not even, there's no light whatsoever going through. And the head is brown. So
ooh, I like that. I like that. You know, I have yet to do a stout that the head is like a brownish. I kind of like that. I feel like, I don't know, like, you know, you eat, they say you eat with your eyes. I feel like you also drink with your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see that, I prefer that with a stout. Like, I feel like I'm getting something very roasty and rich when I see like a dark head.
Exactly. So how do I describe this beer? Malty. It's definitely malty. The nose on it, it reminds me of like Guinness, actually. So it's kind of got that Guinness aroma to it, and the actual body of it is, I would say, just lighter than Guinness.
That's funny because you and I just did, which is coming out next week, the After the Final Pour of an organic stout. We kind of felt the same way about.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's very similar to that. The description on this is pretty well spot on. I get that oat flavor, and it says subtle vanilla, and it is very subtle, if even there at all. Like, I'm curious to see if it says like when this was bottled, because I'm wondering if like those subtle notes would fall off at some point.
Yeah, that's the problem with some of those mixed 6-packs is that unless there's, I think we've said this before on the show, that, you know, some places that sell mixed 6-packs, those are old beers they're trying to get rid of. So be sure to look at the dates on those cans and bottles if they have them. If they don't, well, you're just kind of, you're rolling the dice on if it's a fresh beer or not. I do know places that definitely just use the mix 6 for old beers, and then I know of other places that kind of have a mix, so you got to just kind of look at those bottles and cans, everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, this says Best Buy 1030.
Oh, you're fine. That's I mean, I don't think it's something that, I think the vanilla notes are probably coming from the actual beer itself and not vanilla being added.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Is it
but again, it's super subtle, and it says coffee like, and I don't get coffee.
Yeah, I feel like coffee almost is a generic term when it comes to stouts at this point.
Yeah,
I feel like I get it, and even roasty. But I mean, that's what you get from a stout or a porter. You get those roasty and coffee notes. But if you're gonna say like coffee, you almost want it to be like, oh, I had a sip of coffee, but like cold coffee that was carbonated and had alcohol in it.
Yeah,
I just I feel like
funnily,
it's in there, let me taste that.
Yeah, so funnily enough, what kind of that just struck in my head, I was like, man,
I like that.
So so I think if I do that beer this weekend, I do like the addition of pumpkin, and then when we did the pumpkin episode, I had that coffee pumpkin beer.
Yes, the vanilla wafer beer.
Throwing like a pack of like a 12-ounce bag of ground coffee into the mash.
I'll tell you this: the best way to do that is to add cold brew coffee.
That's what I thought.
You're cooking. Yeah, do that, because otherwise you get a little bit of astringency to it when it's super hot. But you know what? I'm telling you, man, I think that'd be fun if you and I did the same recipe, but you added something to it. Add the pumpkin, add the coffee, and then all three of us get to try 3 different pumpkin beers.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everyone's own recipe in the other, for the most part. Cool.
So did you find out about that because thing?
I still got nothing. But I did see they're over 25 years old. So,
wow, that's an old
brewery.
What's that?
Brandon, would you drink that beer again?
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. I would drink it again. I wouldn't seek it out, because there's so many better stouts out there. But I would definitely drink it again. And then I don't think this one says what the ABV is.
Weird. Really?
Yeah, you're right.
What's going on with this brewery? 25 years old. I mean, come on, guys.
Working on it. 6.1.
Okay. Hey. Yeah, and I guess it feels. I mean, at this point, like ABV is kind of just like, like when it's around, like I tend to feel the ABV or notice it a little bit more when they're like 8 and above. But I feel like there's this window of like between 5 and 7. That's just like everything's kind of most of the time it's like I can't really tell that huge of a difference. And if it's below 5, it's like, okay, yeah, you can tell it's a lighter beer. That's this small window is what I'm stuck in, because I think that's probably what I drink the most of, is stuff that's between 5 and 7%.
5 and 7 is my like creeping time of like cooking. That's when I have my first beer when I get home from work, between 5 and 7. So I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the ABV 5 to 7, between 5 and 7. There you go.
So that's when I have my first beer. That's cool. I like that you went with a stout. So I originally had another beer from Watermark, but I liked it too dang much that I drank it, and I relied on Clark. Clark gave me,
you dumb bastard.
Yeah, well, Clark gave me a beer. It's called Hurricane Squeeze, which is, Clark, what kind of beer is this? I can't see in my basement because it's so dark always. Oh, I can see it now.
It's just an IPA with grapefruit, I believe.
It's a grapefruit IPA. That's 7.5%. But the beer that I bought originally to drink tonight was Touching Tires, which was also a Clark recommendation. It's like a session. What was that?
Hazy. I mean, it's like a session. I'd call it a session hazy. I mean, it's a hazy IPA, but it's like 4.5%.
Which is why I had a hard time not drinking it, because you were spot on and you were very nice enough to give me extra can that you should have had, and I drank it. It's really good. Touching Tires from Watermark is the best sessionable hazy juicy IPA I've ever had, and I absolutely loved it. And I would love for Watermark to please start selling in Chicago, please.
I will be up there next week. Maybe I'll go get like 60 cans or something.
That seems over the top, but a 4-pack would be
55.
Okay, that sounds about right.
What is that in 4-packs? How many 4-packs is that? 55.
You're the guy who does the math. We don't think. You do all the heavy lifting. Brandon and I just go. Okay, so you figure out. Thank you. You figure out the math. Well, I talked about Hurricane Squeeze, which is a beer that you gave me. It's a grapefruit IPA from Watermark, and as I was saying before, I think the break. Watermark, or after the break, I don't remember at this point. Watermark has become one of my favorite breweries in Michigan. I've tried some hazy beers. I've tried a pineapple smoked beer that I didn't think was good until I let it warm up a little bit. I've had barrel aged beers from them. I've had double IPAs from them. I have not had a bad beer from them yet. So if you have a chance, check out Watermark in Michigan. If you're in Chicago, it's a quick trip. You can go up there, grab some beer, have a beer, come on back safely. Drive through Indiana, but don't stop there. So here we go. Hurricane Squeeze. I've not had this. Clark, you have your own feelings about it, and right off the bat, just smelling it, that is grapefruit to the max. Here we go. This is like drinking straight up grapefruit juice that I don't dislike. Clark, I can understand your feelings on it. It's probably the only Watermark beer I think I've seen that you didn't like, so to speak.
Well, so I've had this. I bought a 4-pack. I was trying to get to 55. It didn't work out that way with a couple 4-packs.
Next time,
but
working on it.
The first one I drank looks like the middle of August this summer, and I gave it a 4 on Untappd, and I thought it was really good. I said that it tastes like the sweet side of grapefruit in a good way, and I was drinking it down on the beach, and it was very tasty. Then I had one a week or two later. I don't know. It like lost carbonation or something, but that might have something to do with the grapefruit juice that they put in there. It just, something wasn't hitting me right after I had it a few weeks after I bought it.
This is, man. Do you guys remember when Ballast Point released all of their, what is it?
Grapefruit Sculpin, right?
Sculpin, yeah. All the Sculpin. And it was obnoxiously expensive because they were trying to bone every beer geek in the world at that point. And Grapefruit Sculpin was like $18 for a 6-pack, which now in hindsight, really not that expensive for a 6-pack. This, man, I love this. This is like carbonated grapefruit juice with a little bit of sweetness. It's a nice golden color to it. This is a solid IPA with grapefruit in there. I mean, the grapefruit aroma is almost overpowering. Like, it's like biting into it's like taking a fresh grapefruit, smelling it, and then biting into it and be like, oh, look, it's a carbonated grapefruit.
Are you a grapefruit fan in general?
Well,
that probably helps.
Yeah, I don't like eating grapefruit, but I like the idea of grapefruit in beers. We, in the brew club, when we did the Great Lakes Brew Fest, we did Smooth Sailing, which is the pale ale that I did, which is the citra hopped pale ale with grapefruit juice that will send your heart to the sea. I'm reading from the official sign that we that we brought up.
Oh yeah.
And what I did was add like, I think 64 ounces of frozen 100% grapefruit juice to the actual kettle as I was chilling it. So there's like a lot of grapefruit juice in it. And I think citra and grapefruit juice work very well together. There's a lot of grapefruit in this. This is definitely not I'll have an IPA that has like, a hint of grapefruit. If you don't like grapefruit, you won't like this. It's like if a coffee beer is like, if you don't like coffee, you won't like this. Don't drink this beer. This is one of those beers where it's like, if you really don't like grapefruit, don't drink this. If you like grapefruit, I think you'd really enjoy it. I'm very happy with this. This is very refreshing. It's kind of weird to drink it when it's like fucking 50 degrees out right now at 8:00 at night.
Yeah.
But yeah, Watermark's hitting all the right notes, and I look forward to drinking more beers from them. Anybody else can say something. I mean, come on, let's go, guys.
What I was going to say is when things get a little better, I definitely want to make the trip up to Watermark.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Clark, I mean, you and I were saying maybe we do a fall trip. Just saying.
Oh, anytime. I've got my fanny pack. I'm ready to go.
Clark and I colored in a picture.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so if you don't know, at Watermark, they have a vending machine at the entrance. And in that vending machine are not your normal vending machine items. Oftentimes you'll find a pregnancy test. Other items. They have some candy. My boys often like
Where's
to go to
the
the vending
drum
machine.
on that one? But
Seriously.
Yeah, come on.
But like those sticky hands, those gel sticky hands that you can fling at a wall and
those are
stick
awesome.
to things. We got a lot of toys in there. We got a mustache set once over the summer. A lot of fun. But this time they also have some mystery items.
Ooh.
They had a $20 mystery box. So I said, screw it. I've never done it before. been wondering. So I put $20 in. This mystery box drops. You open it up, and there are crayons in there.
That's
And
hilarious.
Tony, what else did we see? Like a strawberry shortcake kind of looking,
kind of, yeah,
coloring
like a
book picture.
Exactly. The 3 crayon colors were like purple, black, and red.
Pinkish or red, yeah. And it said, color in this picture and bring it to the bar for your prize.
Yeah, but it gave a list of the prizes of what we were going to get.
Oh, that's right.
Which was
stickers, 2 beer glasses, and a fanny pack.
Ooh.
Nice. And so Clark and I thought, hey, if we took our time, because we're getting ready to leave, if we took our time and colored this in very nice, maybe they'll be like, wow, you guys really put the effort in. Here's a bonus thing.
Here's the keys to the brewery.
Yeah. And what happened when we brought the keys to the brewery? What happened? Here's 55 beers. What happened when we brought the picture up there, Clark?
Well, they were surprised. They called some guy over, I guess the manager at the time, and they did say something to the effect of, "Oh, well, the last guy that did this just kind of scribbled for 2 seconds and handed it to us." So I thought, okay, great, we're in. We did it. We're gonna get the Supreme Deluxe prize. And we still got the nice return, the fanny pack, which I did wear, and I was wearing it. Yep. And what did they say?
They go, "Who even wears a fanny pack?" To which my reply was, "Did you just say that as an adult to another adult?" But yeah, you got 2 beer glasses, some stickers that you didn't have before. The fanny pack and a koozie, and you gave me the koozie, man.
Well, that's right, the koozie. I forgot about the koozie. A nice little snifter, a Watermark branded snifter, and a nice little Watermark branded, just regular old tall beer glass. So
yeah, we figured that those beer glasses are probably about $8 a piece. So that's $16. Fanny pack had to be at least $5.
Yeah.
You know, koozies maybe $1. Stickers, I don't know, probably free, but you got like $2 bonus or $3 bonus on that, man.
You got it. So Brandon, when you join us, we're all the 3 of us are gonna put in for the $50 mystery bag.
I'm in.
It's 50 identical items for $50.
Oh, that's what it was. Well, it'll change by then. They usually have something around $50.
Oof, yeah, we got to do
it. Over the summer, they had a 120-ounce jar of chocolate pudding. And if you ate all of that chocolate pudding in 2 hours, you got like $100 gift card and your bill was free or something like that.
And you die.
That sounds like awesome and awful at the same time.
Yep.
Like, I love pudding, but not like that. I'm not like Carl Grimes, I'm not going to eat that much pudding in one sitting on a rooftop, hoping that my beer tab is covered and I get a $100 gift certificate. But $100 gift certificate to Watermark, it might be worth it.
Might be worth that pudding.
Mm-hmm. Overall, I will say that the beers that I tried on my trip was great, and it was very nice. Thank you, Clark, for allowing me to go with you to get a little bit away from reality almost. You and I also did something else that was fun that has nothing to do with this. And Brandon, I messaged you about it, and I realized that the first time it was mentioned was the last Halloween pumpkin beer episode, or Halloween beer episode. We didn't call it a pumpkin beer episode because we had 3 pumpkin beers, 1 terrible one, 2 decent ones, and then the Ailman salted caramel beer. And then do you guys remember we did the Rogue Dead Guy barrel aged beer?
Oh yeah.
It tasted like iced tea with a shot of whiskey, apparently.
Yep.
But we had mentioned, what we should do is do a pumpkin spice Bourbon County, which Clark and I, maybe regretfully the next morning, decided that's what we were going to do. And for anybody who's got a Bourbon County sitting around, it's very easy, and it was very good. You just had a little... Well, Clark, you actually had pumpkin spice, like McCormick pumpkin spice. Yeah. We were going to do, like, try and find cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, whatever, and throw it in there. But you actually had, like, a pumpkin spice jar.
Ooh, I might have that.
Yeah.
We're always ready.
Always ready. You're like, one day we're going to want to do the pumpkin spice Bourbon County. We got to get the pumpkin spice seasoning jar all together. It was very good. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was nice to get away and have a basically the only vacation that I've pretty much had for this year during 2020. And Brandon, I could imagine that maybe you had the same feeling, getting a chance to kind of get away, have some time off of work, and spend time with family outside of your own home.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was a nice way to kind of reset. So that was good. And then, now being back, back into the swing of things, it's nice too, because my mother-in-law actually came back with us. So she's staying with us for 2 weeks.
Your mother-in-law is there now, which is very nice.
Which is helpful because, we're quarantining for 2 weeks. So we've got our kid home. So we needed somebody to wrangle him. Worked out perfectly.
Mother-in-laws are the best.
So anytime Clark is trying to find some information for us, this is the perfect clip that should be played.
I'm right on top of that, Rose.
Now, if anybody knows that's from, it is from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh, you shouldn't have said it. You shouldn't have said it. I think we should let people guess.
Oh, you should edit it out.
Yeah, if anybody knows what that's from, we'll send you a coaster and a sticker.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to do. I know, Brandon, by the way, thank you for procuring coasters and stickers for us. Clark, do you have coasters and stickers from us?
I do. I'm using one right now.
Can you give them back?
Yeah, we're going to take those back because we're about to go ahead and start giving those away. I thought about it today. People who are listening, if you guys have suggestions for shows or of the likes, an idea for a show, we'd be happy to send you a coaster and a sticker. That's an official thing here. Myke, you are immediately disqualified. You cannot ask for that. You already have those. I think actually I gave Myke one of the big stickers too. So,
But yeah, I've got a former neighbor that actually might work out as a decent guest. I think, Tony, I told you what's going on with him.
Yeah, and we have yet to do a full-on homebrew show. We do, listening to last year's show, I forget that the malting hour hasn't always been the malting hour. All last year was the 212 roundtable, which was, when we were doing the 212 brew club, which kind of still exists, but only in theory. The malting hour has kind of just become its own thing. We were way more focused on the homebrewing aspect, and we do want to come back to that. But yeah, I still want to do a full-on, or we want to do a full-on homebrew show. And yes, Clark, you are correct. It would be nice to have him on there. That guy you're talking about.
Ooh, mystery guest.
His name's Lincoln.
And he has his beers pouring at Pilot Project now.
Abe Lincoln?
Yeah, it's Abe Lincoln. Abe Lincoln is pouring beers at Pilot Project, which Pilot Project was brought to my attention by my old beer friend Dan, who wanted to get us in there. It just never worked out because apparently everybody had it locked up. But Lincoln got in.
Oh. Nice.
But anyways, yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I'm down.
Cool. Well, I think this show has run its course, and again, we've gone well over an hour.
I've got more beers I can drink.
If you want to drink a beer, if you want to talk about another beer, I'm down to talk about.
No.
We going through last year's Bourbon County lineup right now, or what?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Let's do it. Actually, I got to be honest. So I would like to make this. You guys ready for this? I want to make this statement now. I don't think Prop Day is going to happen. I don't know what they're going to do. Clark, you and I have discussed this idea, and I think Brandon and I discussed it with you as well. But I think it only makes sense for us to do our own French press Prop Day, because Prop Day, it's not going to be the same. There's no way it's going to be anywhere what we're used to, what we're expecting. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But it won't be the big gathering of people hanging out, drinking variants, and being able to talk about it. And last year, Brandon, you and I, we did our own like pre-Prop Day and then post-Prop Day. We tried to do a regular Prop Day, but that recorder I had sucked. But I think this year we're going to do a Bourbon County blowout with making our own prop variants. So that'll be our Prop Day this year.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yummy.
All right. Well, Clark, welcome. To the show. Even though you've been on the show, but now you're now you're here.
Welcome to having a purpose.
Yeah, well, thank you for having a purpose on the show.
Aside from drinking and talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll find that purpose working on it, actually.
Working on it. Oh,
Right on top of that, Rose.
yeah. Woo! That's awesome. But yeah, thank you everybody for continuing listening to the show. We appreciate it. Be sure to check out themaltinghour.com. Brandon and I have discussed how we can really make that website something for you to actually go to other than clicking on it and listening to the show. But we'll be updating that. But be sure to follow all of us. Number one, The Malting Hour on Facebook, themaltinghour.com, The Malting Hour on Instagram. Brandon, where can people find you?
BDub81 on Twitter, and I think BMDub81 on Instagram.
Excellent. Clark, where can people find me?
Clark.
Whose turn is it?
Well, Clark, I'm saying how can people find me? No, it's my turn, but I want Clark to tell me how they find me. Because the last time I
Tony Loves Beer 69.
I mean, yes, that's the joke, but I don't remember. I always forget. Tony Loves Beer 69 and Untapped. I am.
Oh, is that my job now that I have to actually give out your actual?
That was kind of like hey, can you do that for me? But it's fine. I'm the Asa Phelps, TheAsaPhelps on Twitter. I think it's the same thing on Instagram.
Yeah, hold on. Nope, I'm looking right now. Instagram, it's just Asa Phelps Chicago.
Two different things. So Asa Phelps Chicago on Instagram. I'll update all of that. Asa Phelps Chicago on Instagram. The Asa Phelps on Twitter. And that's it. Just follow us. And Clark, how can people kind of follow you, I guess, if they're interested? Like,
I make it very simple for everyone. Untapped, Instagram, Twitter. That's about it. Clarkowski. Clark, Owski.
Ooh. And by the way, Clark, I want to say this to you. This is official. I'm bummed the Sox lost today.
Yeah, it's all good. It's a weird feeling, weird season. It's cool.
It was supposed to be the Sox and the Cubs in the World Series. That's my dream. I don't think the Cubs are going to make it either, but I'm just bummed the Sox didn't make it either, man.
It'll be fine.
Let's all give a virtual
Everything's
hug.
okay.
Everybody give a virtual hug right now. Ready? Arms out. Bring it in. Thank you, everybody.
But hey, there's still baseball, so let's be happy about that.
Here's our 3-0.
Nick Foles starting it up. Here we go, baby.
Right
all right.
on top of that, Rose.
Shit. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Malting Hour. Brandon, I love you.
Love you too, man.
Clark, you're all right, man.
I appreciate you.
That's my new thing. I always say, Brandon, I love you, and now it's gonna be Clark. You're all right, man.
Perfect.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Keep looking to the stars, right?
Bye.
Peanut